Hi guys, good afternoon. This is Gbenga Afolabi, White Naija Girl, and you are watching Panaf Tv. Today's topic is African art and culture, and I've got my amazing guests here, and they managed to put the African art on the map in the UK.
Hello everybody, my name is Peterkin-Walker and I'm a self-employed artist, and I'm the founder and owner of Akoma Arts, which basically produces cultural greeting cards as well as framed photographic arts, t-shirts and other pieces of memorabilia, key rings. And the idea of what we do with Akoma Arts was giving positive representations of African people throughout the diaspora, and that was the kind of ethos for doing what I do. I've got a background from video production, and I've now moved into photography and graphic design, and the idea is really to build up our own economics. You know, we do many things with our arts and culture and things, but the idea is for African peoples to start owning things again, sharing our culture and celebrating our culture, and that was my ethos for setting up Akoma Arts.
I'm Hamida, and I'm from Tanzania. The aim of all things African is to promote the local talented artists and tailors to earn living through the work they produce. All my product, if you want to see what I'm doing, you can find me on my Facebook page, which is Hamida Mbaga, or you can contact me.
So I'm Dolapo. I am the administrator for a gallery based in Manchester. We're the first contemporary African arts gallery in Manchester in the Northwest. So we're the first gallery focusing solely on bringing contemporary African art to the Northwest and beyond.
Michelle, you are an artist yourself as well, so please tell us what role does the African art play, you know, in the social and economic development?
For me, I can only look at what art has done for me. You know, it inspires us. It encourages us, it tells us stories, it tells our heritage. So when you look at African art, it does so much for you culturally. You know, you tell history, you tell different images, what make us feel good. You know, obviously people want to use art to make a living, and people say, oh, you'll be a struggling artist for the rest of your days. But I actually believe that we're actually the biggest consumers on the planet as African peoples. So if we're the biggest consumers, that there's a space for our art to be purchased, that we can be lived upon and make a life out of it. And it's about supporting economics, why I think it's so important for us. It's part of the economics. That's one of the things that I'm trying to encourage with myself as an artist, to step up so we can have ownership, as well as like people like Hamida with what you do in Africa, you know, making these links over with the artisans who use translate for my culture. We are very skilled people, you know, people take trade and art from Africa all the time and sell it for a large price, and we actually don't benefit from it. You know, if we're controlling our own art, whether people like Hamida, artists producing it, and obviously people like your sister who can give an outlet for our art.
I think also for Africans, you know, whose heritage from African countries, from Ghana to Nigeria, I think what we find in the galleries, it helps people connect to home. So, for example, whether you're originally African or not, for example, we had someone visit the gallery, and she's a Caucasian lady and had taught in Kaduna, the northern part of Nigeria, you know, a couple of years ago, about going on sort of 20 to 25 years ago. And she'd come into the gallery, and she literally sat down with us and had a chat with us, you know, eating some African food, which we can provide on occasion. And the memory of the gallery brought back memories of her staying Nigeria, staying Kaduna, teaching the children, and you know, she could relate specific artwork to a time in Nigeria. So I think it's a wonderful connection and a relevant piece for people who live here to connect back to home, and you can connect as many times as you want when you visit the gallery, or you know, connect with other artwork as well.
I believe, as the sister say there, the art is a message, give you a message. So the artist always, when you know, different people, they interpret the art in different way.
I mean, I can see your beautiful dress, so that's already a way to embrace the culture and enjoy it. I mean, I myself as well, that's why I've chosen to wear that.
Yeah, you know, when you look, maybe when you look at arts for myself, for example, the way I dressed, you know, is like, all I say to people, promote and also show yourself you can use it. Because there is no point me coming telling people I'm supporting my local artist in Africa by, you selling their product. Yourself, you're not wearing it. How can you promote it? So you have to be the first one.
So it's this thing of where cultures can connect, you can learn, you can celebrate and go forward. It brings me also to what we do with African Village Market. You know, when you talked about the economics and sharing, we have a number of vendors who come to African Village Market with handmade jewellery, clothing, for materials from all over the world. And obviously it's clothing and materials, but also just tradespeople. So some people might actually wear the garments, or some people are jewellers. So it's about also sharing that culture and different vehicles. So we put on a bi-monthly market. One is in Liverpool on the 25th of March at Cumberland Centre. Get down there at 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. And our big launch is coming to Manchester on the 30th of July this year. So make sure you're at Carmore Road. It's going to be a major event. And we're here to celebrate our culture in every shape and form.
Do you think that African art or even African businesses actually get the attention that they deserve? Do you think that African people support these businesses and these artists enough?
I would say no, but I would say it's going in the right direction. So I think there needs to be more publicity about African businesses and getting people aware that, and letting them know that these services are available. I mean, the number of times we get people walking into our gallery saying, I didn't know you were here, how come you guys are not being advertised? How come I haven't heard about you? Is, literally, we get that almost every week. So I think it's raising the publicity and raising the awareness about African businesses, and also when people know about these businesses, is doing their best to support them.
As the sister was saying, is increasing. I think the same way in schools it isn't valued. No one tells the children that Picasso copied Cubism from Africa and so forth and all these different art. So when you learn that, you think, we're good. Bending bronzes. If you look at our artistry and our work, you'll start to see that we've got a history of this and a heritage.
So it's making it part and parcel of, you go to the park, you go to the movies, you go to the restaurant, you go to a gallery, you go to an African art workshop. So I think it's like what you both said. Yeah. So it's encouraging that culture and making it a part of, your weekend routine, or making it part of your recreational routine, time spending with your kids. I mean, recently we've had, so as part of a youth group, we've had a youth group in the gallery 2 days ago, and the kids came and painted and enjoyed it. Also, we had a girl who came, a young girl in secondary school, and she had been to the gallery, and she had an art competition at school, and the work she'd seen in the gallery inspired her for art, and literally it was a carbon copy of what was in the gallery, and she actually won a prize in her school. So it's kids are ready to be inspired, but it's making sure that they're open and they see that, as you said, African art is beautiful. There are these things available. So it's parents imbibing that culture and that habit of exposing the children to African art and African culture consciously.
I would like to take the opportunity to talk about these beautiful paintings here and beautiful art here behind us. So that's Michelle's work, and then please tell us about it and what can we see here?
I call it, it's a concept piece, meaning peace, love and power. It embodies the typical colours that we see from like Rasta culture. My mum's a Rasta. I've come from a Rastafarian background, and as you know, with our links to Africa, these colours are in many of our flags, so you see where the idea comes from. And it was to symbolise that. I photographed that I took of a local model in my community, because I like to work with our artists and people, and I just recreated it through some graphic design, and I do different variations on it. So that's the holographic piece, which is basically on holographic card. I do different types of prints. It's a print which I've done a bit of mixed media, hand painted glitter effect on it, and some other media effects, and you'll see similar one with this fist if you can see it. I just try to do different effects on it. So this is the holographic psychedelic one. You walk past it and it moves and has a different 3D effect. We have a website. You can go to www.akomaarts.com or Facebook. So simply type in Akoma Arts and we'll pop up with a little logo. Instagram And Twitter, yeah, so all those social media you can find us on. Yeah, Akoma Art is all through social media. So find us on social media. So you can download the cards and framed art. We sell them, we ship them online. But I tend to sell more framed art at the markets and festivals. So we're going to be at Africa in June. Ooh. But if you check the website, you'll always see a listing of the local places where we are and stuff. Currently, I've got an exhibition that I'm looking to tour around the place, which is called Pieces of Gold. It's Pieces of Gold. It's a Pan-African exhibition, and it was looking at different icons from across our diaspora. So there was a local man named Brother Nana Bonsu, who was large at this Caribbean Centre, a local lady named Dorothy Kuya, and obviously inspired by the likes of Amy Garvey and Marcus Garvey, which when I revisited this information, and again, which I've always been a bit of a Pan-African, the spirit of these people galvanised me, and it's why I'm kind of here today doing what I'm doing.
And we have upcoming actually event, which is Savannah Night. So that will be on the 1st of April. That will be held in Bolton to one of our sister, business, Loche Draw. So I'm hoping to see you all there.
Chuck Gallery, we've got a physical location. So we're located on 166 Plymouth Grove, which is 5 minutes from the Elizabeth Gaskell House. We've also got a website, so that's chuckgallery.com. You can find us on Facebook, Chuck Gallery. You can find us on Twitter and Chuck Gallery, or you can also send us an email at chuckgallery@outlook.com. But I'd advise you to come in, seeing it is much better in real life, and Plymouth Grove in Ardwick.
So what advice would you give to an artist or even a business person who is trying to promote African goods? What advice would you give them? How to step out, how to get to the next level in promotion?
Right. One thing actually I could encourage a lot of African artists and business. First of all, dare to be different, like one of my motto. Also, don't take negative people who they come and discourage you, because sometimes people, they might be negative to you because they don't know really what you're up to. So always be positive, and also show yourself. Try to talk to the right people. If you haven't found the right people yet, don't be negative on yourself. Keep going. Because I can give you through my experience. When I started, I wouldn't be actually in front of the on TV today and speak out. No, I'll run. To be honest, I'll run. I wouldn't be in front of So that's why I understand exactly what these artists maybe they're going through, or the business people they're going through. Sometimes they have a very good maybe knowledge, a good way to talk to, but they're afraid. So what I can say also to my fellow Africans, please support each other. So don't sit there and criticize the other. Whatever you can, you need to support other people. And, go out of your comfort zone. If you hear there is event somewhere of other African fellows, go and support them.
For me, what's really important is to obviously have the passion and do thought, word and action, and always make that galvanise everything that you do. But it's to have the belief. I've got a belief that, like I said, we are the biggest consumers on the planet. So if we've got the money and the economics to actually consume, we can just start consuming some of our products. So in that way, there's enough of us to actually feed ourselves if we actually do the action what the sisters are talking about, support. So I actually believe that is actually coming. Attend events, do keep creating your products in whatever way, build upon the social media networks, because since I've been doing this, I've been astounded by the number of artisans, vendors, traders, I mean globally, even not just nationally, who are actually doing all these sorts of a world of things, and I've just been actually warmed by it all, and encouraged even when I felt despondent. I guess it's to make my aim is to make, obviously, African products and the products I produce accessible to all. So there'll be some products that are tailored for different communities, not just African, but it's about getting people to celebrate our things and what we do in images so that it isn't necessarily alien to you. So even as an artist, I might take a picture of the Beatles, and there's some things from my hometown of Liverpool and make that sell. But I might put a little black spin on it, you know, in that way. But ultimately, it's to just produce things for me from the heart and still have the business ethos and ethic to push it in this way to help it grow.
Get yourself out there. There's so many sort of free channels, by free, you know, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, those are the channels to get yourself known. And I think also connecting with other African businesses. I can't imagine an artist coming to us and we not trying to support them. So usually African businesses, we're sort of a link in the chain, supporting each other. Also, just as part of the gallery, we've got this thing called the Associate Artist Scheme, run by Akira Bayunu, who's an artist herself and works with the gallery. So it's called the Associate Artist Scheme. Associate Artist Chuck Gallery. You can find it on Facebook, and it's a scheme that's been set up to support artists in their work. You know, artists who for some reason have gone away from doing art for whatever reason. It's providing that network because people are very important in getting that support. But I believe with social media, with the free advertising tools, and I think you need the tenacity. Definitely, it's not an easy business to be in, but if you persevere, if you've got good work, then there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Build and they will come. No, don't build and wait them to come. You have to go and find them. Yeah. And trust me, there is, as you said, there is a customer out there, millions of them there. It's for you to keep running. Come on, keep running. If you can't run, fly. But they're there waiting for you. So keep going.
I love these encouraging words, and yeah, as Dolapo said, we are very lucky to live in a social media world, and these are free advertising tools, and you can get your artwork out there. And as we heard, there is a lot of support available as well. And we would like to do the same as well. We would like to support African art and businesses. So just by sharing this video, you might help somebody who just watches this video and says, okay, I am an artist, or I know somebody who's an artist and they need this information. So please don't forget to share the video, like Panaf TV's page for other interesting shows and videos as well. And I think if there's anything else that you would like to tell the viewers, and then we can close down.
As much as I love social media, and you're probably watching this video too, African culture is a lived experience. So the idea that you live it and you walk and trod, so you have to do. So get yourself off the sofa and get down to places, different activities, different events, what are going on in your community. It might be an art one, it could be a cultural one, it could be social, it could be health information. There's the networks that you make, and there's just interesting things you learn to appreciate about your culture, which obviously leads into my arena, which is arts. But please go to these events, because this is what's so important, to uplift and inspire you and make you feel connected. And actually, you'll actually enjoy it. You know, you might think you don't enjoy it because you use social media, but you'll enjoy it. So get down to these events and support it, please. So don't forget, African Village Market, 25th of March in Liverpool. See you there.
I think when we say support African art, we tend to think, oh yes, support African art. But I think it's personalizing it and saying, I will support African art. So it's easy to use that phrase, but also it's thinking to yourself, how can I support African art, and not waiting for the next person to do it. So there is a part that you can play. As we mentioned, there's so many avenues for you to support African art and culture. There is something you can do. If you've got kids, if you've got a business, if you've got yourself, you know, there's so many things that you can do. So I would like to encourage you to take on that challenge to support African art, or if you've been doing so, continue and encourage other people as well to support African art. There's something for all of us to do.
Right, as you said, okay, when you're talking about supporting African art, as you said, at the moment I'm working with more than 15 artists actually in Tanzania and Kenya and the other African countries. As you can see myself, the way I'm dressing up, you know, my necklace, my bracelets, my bangles, my bag as well here. All this is work of our talented African artists. If you want one of these ones, please contact me. I can see my sketch as well. Sorry, guys, I have to stand up and show it off. Yes, right, so this as well is one of my artists as well, which I'm supporting. These tailors from Tanzania as well. So all this work is for our talented African artists. We support them, they earn living through their blessed hands. So contact me, 077 64 535 835. Please support our talented African artists to earn living through the work they are doing.
Goodbye to you, dear viewers, and thank you so much for tuning in today. And as I said, the first thing you can do now is to share this video and like Panaf TV page. Please make sure that you check out all the Facebook pages and pages that we talked about today. So Hamida and Mbaga and the African Village Market, and of course the Chat Gallery in Manchester.